All right, so let's start with an introduction, who you are, where we are, and where you're located.
I'm Susan Clark. This is the FiberFactory in downtown Mesa, 216 West Main Street. We're right there between Country Club and Robson. If you look for the big pink chair out on the street, you'll find us.
So tell me a little bit about this shop.
Well, the shop here has been in downtown Mesa for close to 30 years. We've been at this location for 5 now. We like to think of ourselves as the Southwest's most complete yarn store because we have equipment, supplies, and yarn for just about everything. Knitting, crochet, spinning, basketry, a number of different kinds of weaving, bobbin lace, tatting. Is there anything I haven't mentioned?
As far as I know, you got everything. So, I mean, as soon as you walk in here, you see that there's a huge selection of all the different types of yarn that you just mentioned. Have this big of a selection?
Well, for one thing, we try to have good quality yarns at a fair price. We have yarns to fit those that are on more of a budget and yarns for those that like to splurge a little bit. So we have a wide price range of yarns. We have cottons, we have wools, we have lots of blends. Basically, just about any kind of yarn you want. Whatever your pattern or your project requires, if we don't have that specific yarn, we can usually find a substitute for you.
So, someone like me, I'm new to knitting, never knitted before. I love beanies. So if I wanted to knit or how to crochet, how would I go about that?
Well, we would suggest that you take a class. We have beginning classes in knitting and crocheting, as well as spinning and weaving and all of the things I mentioned before. There are classes where you can learn a lot, which cover maybe a 4-week period, meeting once a week. And we have Learn in a Day classes as well for both knitting and crochet. So if you only have one day to dedicate to getting a crash course in knitting or crochet, we have those.
And how often do you guys have classes?
We have we do a new class schedule 3 times a year. And so our class schedules that you can find on our website at www.fiberfactory.com. We put a new schedule out 3 times a year in January, May, and September. And so there will be a 4-month selection of classes there. And we have classes every day. So each session, some sessions may just be 1 day. Some of them may be 4 days over the course of 2 months so that you have plenty of knitting time or crocheting time in between.
And so do you get into the more intricate patterns or into the more advanced types of classes, or is it just the beginner types?
We also have intermediate classes where you learn techniques. We have project-oriented classes where you do work on a specific project. There are classes that this is what I want to make, and we have a professional that will help you make that. Our goal is for you to learn what you want to learn and to be successful at it, and when your project is finished, you have something that you can be proud of.
So you have, again, of yarns here. Tell me what the difference is between one yarn for the novice or that doesn't really know much about yarn. What's the difference between one yarn and another yarn?
Well, you have yarns that are very fine, that are for knitting socks and knitting lace. At this end of the store, we have all of our finer yarns. And then next to that, we have fingering weight or baby weight yarns, which is very nice for making baby garments or christening garments, things of that nature. We have then what's called a DK weight yarn, which is sort of a medium weight yarn. It has it's not bulky, has a good drape, it's very nice for garments. And then you get into, we've got novelty yarns for accents and for funky fun projects. And then there's the worsted weight yarns, which is most often used for things like Afghans, sweaters, and then the chunky weight yarns, which people that live in a cold place need to have.
Tell me a little bit about this contraption here that you've got.
This is a cactus flower loom. I am learning the Navajo weaving techniques. This is a sampler. I'm just learning how to do the weaving itself. It's not any particular project. It's just it's a sampler for learning. We have Navajo style weaving classes also, where you can learn how to weave in the Navajo manner on a larger loom. You learn to warp it, you learn the different weaving patterns, and then you learn how to finish it off. And then we have intermediate classes where you learn more advanced patterns. And we also have drop-in classes too, for people that already know how to warp a loom and just want to get better.
So aside from yarn, what other things do you have in the store?
All of the accessories and equipment that you need. We have needles, we have notions, we have crochet hooks, we have tote bags, we have spinning wheels, we have looms.
So anything, if you knit or crochet and you need something, this is...
We will generally have it.
And
if we don't have it, we can get it. If there's particular yarn that you love and you can't find anywhere else, we will definitely investigate the possibility of ordering it for you.
Oh, cool. So they're kind of a little custom...
Absolutely. If you're stuck on a project and you just need a little bit of help, then we're happy to help you with your project. If you need some extensive help and there isn't a class to fit you, we do have private lessons that are available.
So how does someone get a hold of you guys if they wanted to have a question about a certain yarn?
You can email us, yarn@fiberfactory.com. You can call us on the telephone. You can come drop in.
And now, is there anything that that I missed or that you would like to add to what we talked about?
Knitting with a sense of humor. Remember, there are no knitting police. That's the most important thing. There are no knitting police. And we can help you out of a jam.
And that's kind of your guys' style, just a more free, kind of fun type of atmosphere?
I hope so. That's one of our goals. Knitting is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. All of these activities here we do because we love them, because we enjoy the time that we spend in it, and that's
Cool.
because it's fun.
All right.
It can be kitschy too.
I got all the audio I need.